What's going on, you silly sausages? Aim training, or as I like to call it, raw dog aiming. You see, I don't think there's too many good videos on YouTube explaining exactly what it is, eh? And if there is, it's like super boring and, look at my study and, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you're falling asleep, right? So I'm going to change that. I'm changing it right now. All right, so no studies or anything like that, but you're going to relate to it. I might draw some graphs. They might look like a fucking 9-year-old drew them, but I'm going to draw them regardless, which is good for you guys, because you don't have to sit there and pretend that you're understanding everything, because let's face it, you're probably as dumb as I am, so let's fucking do it, eh? So throughout this video, I plan on answering a lot of the misconceptions out there, such as, isn't it better just playing the game to get better? It's nerdy, it's lame, only those people who really care about their rank want to play it. My favorite bloody pro never did aim training, so why do I need to? But the biggest goal of this video is to take someone who doesn't believe in aim training at all, and then to convince them that it objectively works. It's a big claim, but I reckon if you follow my logic, you can't really deny it. You see, I think most people who play FPS and whatever, shooters, and I put my hand up here, this was me, 100% I did not believe in this shit. It's very easy for them to just instantly dismiss it without thinking about what's going on in the process at all. Like, nah, that doesn't work, that's not for me, I don't want to. No thought whatsoever. So I'm going to try and advocate for it a little bit, I'm going to be that guy going, why not? Please, just try. I'll be your friend. You know what I mean? Let's get into it, eh? That statement is utter balderdash. Alright, to answer, does aim training actually work? First, we need to understand what aim training actually is. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to introduce 3 characters. Now, I reckon you guys can somehow relate to these. They might be based off some streamers, they might be some people you know, but here they are. Alright, the first bloke, we're going to call him Chatty McChadface. Loves himself some Counter-Strike. This bloke's played so much Counter-Strike. He knows so many racial slurs that you have never heard of. 10,000 hours, he's a weapon. A full-on weapon at CS. Next bloke, we're going to call him Kevin Newen. You know the type. The big e-boy streamer. Right, let me do an impression. One sec.
Yo, what's up guys? I'm Kevin Newen, and this is my normal voice. This is how I usually talk, and I'm pretty calm, collected, pretty chill. We're gonna be playing some Valorant with the ladies, but I'm pretty nonchalant. I basically sound like this if my parents died in a fire or I won the lottery. That's basically the same voice. You know what I mean. I've always been this way.
You know the type, eh? All his high school years playing League of Legends. He loves that shit. And the last character, you already know. We'll call her buddy Tiffany, Jessica Tran, something like that. You know the type. The e-girl who wants to give Kevin the good old shag. The good old fair dinkum root. You know what I mean? And when she's streaming, she's she's moaning, but she's pretending that it's just natural. Oh, no, I died. Oh. You know what I mean? You know exactly what I mean, eh? Or sometimes she's pretending she got super scared from a Valorant game and she's doing the heavy breaths everyone knows someone like that. And she's very new to gaming and she's probably just doing it to get some money or to get with Kevin. And hats off to her, because I probably do the same thing. In fact, I just heard the recording of me moaning and breathing and shit, and I think I do a pretty good job, so I might end the video that I'll finish this one off. I'll finish it off. Alright, so those 3 characters, let's say they've never played Valorant before, and they're all jumping on to play some Valorant. You already have an idea in your head about the performance of each of them, whether it's their overall performance or their aim. It's the clankers, I'm telling you, it's the clankers. We all know Counter-Strike and Valorant, they're kind of similar, so of course Chatty McChadster is going to be the best, yeah? That was so scary, chat, my titties came out. But both Kevin and Jessica, or whatever the bloody name is, they've never played Valorant, they've never played TAC FPS. We will assume that Kevin will be better, right?
The GTR still in the shop chat, it's crazy.
And no, it's not because of the bloody sexism, come on, but why is it our natural intuition to think that? It's because all those league hours has given Kevin the ability to control his mouse better. I think we can pretty much all agree on that, yeah? And what is aim training? It's training to move your mouse better so you can aim better. And all aiming better it just means you have better control of your mouse. Mouse control. So when you think about it, Kevin's inadvertently been quote-unquote aim training. So you might be thinking, well, why do I play aim trainers if I can train my aim whilst playing League? It's because aim trainers are focused on that mouse control itself rather than hunting down goblins and killing Roshan or whatever, you know what I mean? Starting to make a bit more sense, yeah? I'll give you another example real quick. You guys know that TV show Squid Game, yeah? Everyone's seen that, yeah? You know, like you move and you get shot in the head and all that kind of shit. You know how they got like the shapes in the cookie you gotta like cut out? I want you to pretend you're going up against me right now. And whoever does the best job survives. I'm pretty sure you're getting shot. I'm sorry, but I'm a weapon. Look at me. Look at me. Right, ready? I'm gonna do the umbrella right now. Fucking look at that. This is on ×2, but I'm still a weapon, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna beat me. Like, you're dead. Bye-bye. See you later. But why am I so good at this? I didn't play Korean Cookie Cutter Simulator 3000. I'm good at it because I developed mouse control from aim trainers. Alright, for me, that logic pretty much covers that. Aim trainers, quote-unquote, work, yeah? Like, yeah, they work. They do something. I feel like I can do better and give like a more relatable example. And to do that, we're gonna go all the way back to primary school. That's right, probably where you got fucked up in the head mentally that you're listening to me now. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, we're here. We're at primary school. You guys are at the front there, you're doing whatever, you're doing your little work. I'm at the back eating some glue, which is starting to explain a lot. And yeah, so why are we here? And what the hell has that got to do with aim training? Well, we're learning how to write. You remember that? You remember those little sheets where you do like the alphabet? Bro, remember cap S's? Bro, that was so OP. That was so hard to do. My teacher, Miss Smith, she was like, if you don't get your cap S's, you're not going to make it in life. And like, to come to think about it, Miss Smith was right, eh? She's fucking spot on. I was getting ready to say, oh, look at me now, Miss Smith. But nah, she was right. She knew what was up, Miss Smith. Anyway, stop distracting me, guys. So the point of this was we're given a pencil, right? Or a pen or whatever. And you were taught how to hold it. You were taught how to write. All that stuff. Like, it took ages to learn to write, yeah? But when we got given a mouse, it was just like, here you go for it, matey. Fucking go for it. Now, I want you to put on your thinking caps and think, what would have happened if we did the same thing with the pencil? We just said, here you go for it, matey. This is where I'll probably put in my little graph that looks like a 9-year-old did it, you know? Remember that one? So I think we can all imagine it, right? Everyone's just gonna grab it. They're probably gonna like full palm the pencil, like they're just using their whole palm to grab it all. No technique at all. Like some kids are gonna, you know, they're gonna pick it up. They're gonna learn by themselves. They don't really need the lessons, yeah? And some are just gonna completely fail forever. And it's just, I'll put it on the graph. It's going to be a shift back from what it is now. A big shift. You can probably see where I'm going with this. You see, some of these kids, they're still going to be like full Leonardo da Vinci, whoever his name is, doing crazy handwriting. These are your pros. These are bloody, you know, Donk, Sinatra, everyone's favorite, tens. But just because they didn't need to put in hours aim training doesn't mean you shouldn't, right? Because you and I, we're both behind. We're both eating the glue. Look at us. Look at us over here. Just because there are people who didn't have to train for something doesn't mean that the training doesn't work, right? We wouldn't use that logic for anything else. Like if you walked into the gym, you plan to work on yourself, and then some 14-year-old bloody Samoan kid walks in, and he just looks at the bench press, and he just like does your max. He warms up with it. And then your logic wouldn't be, oh, he didn't have to train to do that, so I don't either. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. Going back to the pencil analogy, we've basically got a whole bunch of people playing video games that don't know how to use the mouse properly. Pretend like the pencil is the mouse. We're playing games, and we're like full gripping the pencil with our palm. Like, yeah, some people can do it. Some people worked out how to actually do it. But that's essentially what's happening. And in my experience, when I've got people to actually sit down and try this properly, like actually give it a go, the results are shocking, myself included. It's like, bro, what the fuck's going on? So what went through my head when I started was, oh, I hit that shot. I mean, I meant to, but I wasn't really expecting to hit it. And then, like, I hit another one. And, like, is that unexpectedness? And it's like, oh, wait a minute. This shit actually works. And I got another mate who's the exact same thing. It's just like, oh, wow. It's like, it's very eye-opening. All right, now I want to set the record straight. We'll do some misconceptions and stuff. Just some common questions and some common thoughts. We can maybe debate in the comments if you want. So this first one is something I used to say all the time, actually. I was like, the best way to get better at Valorant is to play Valorant, right? Why would I even play aim trainers? And that statement is like mostly true. If you could only do one thing to get better at Valorant, it's to play Valorant, yeah? But the thing is you can do more. And you think about it, like we discussed before, like aim trainers, they're focused on that mouse control. When you're playing Valorant, you're going to have like one battle, you're either going to get smoked or you're going to smoke them, and then like it's over, you know what I mean? Like you're training, you're learning how to aim for such a small amount of time that you never really learn how to aim properly. The best way to get better at soccer is to play soccer, but I'd also be way better if I dropped 20 kilos, yeah? I've also heard oh, it's too nerdy or too lame. If that's all the issue you have, all that means is that you care way too much about what other people think, yeah? Like you're scared of what they think of you. Like, how about you stop being a little bitch, eh? Another one is, oh, I find it really boring, which can be genuinely true, but I want you to be real with yourself. Have you actually tried it properly? Like, have you gone into like the Voltaic, you've done like benchmarks, you've got to like a rank, and then if you do that and you find it boring, fucking yeah, don't do it. But I reckon it's like most people, they download aim labs or something, they look at like one scenario and like, oh yeah, nah. They never really gave it a true attempt. It's kind of like saying that you hate playing soccer, but you ask the person, oh, have you played soccer? Oh yeah, I kicked the ball with my dog once. It's not the same thing. Like, it's, yeah, but nah. So if you have given it a genuine attempt, yeah, don't play it. That's all fine. I recommend you don't play it. Why would you do it if something you genuinely don't like? But I reckon a ton of people would love this shit if they did give it a genuine try. Right, this next one I've heard a ton. Oh, I don't care about my rank to play aim trainers. Yeah, I don't really care. Biggest cope ever, brother. Biggest cope ever. At least for most people. If this is you, I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Do you prefer playing ranked over unranked? Do you have a Smurf account? Ever had a Smurf account? If you lose a ranked game, do you feel as bad as if you lost an unranked game? Probably feels worse losing the ranked game, doesn't it? Yeah. Again, I think it's cope. I think everyone's too scared what other people think, because it's not cool to sound like, oh yeah, I care about my rank. You know what I mean? You want to get better. It's fun. But no, everyone's too cool. Everyone's too Kevin Ewan. You know what I mean, man? Yeah. But hey, I could be wrong there. That could just be on me. Another misconception. If you're like really good at aim, you must be a higher rank. It's definitely not that way. You got to think about how many different variables go into being good at a game. You got to have map awareness. You got to have communications. There's so many different things. But what I will say is having better aim is like never a negative, right? Unless it comes at the cost of learning other stuff. Then you're putting too much time into the aim trainer. If your focus is to get good at a particular game, it's very widely suggested to like put a maximum 20% of your playtime into aim training. All right, let's get into some positives, like why I like it so much and why I advocate for it. What I'd say is it allows you to like maintain being at like a decently higher level at multiple games, as well as transferring from game to game if something new comes out, different genre. Ranking up in the aim training benchmarks, it feels just as good as ranking up in a game, 100%. Because the nature of them is so straightforward, it's very easy to see how you're progressing, and you can see yourself getting better. I feel like that's a lot more difficult to do within games itself, because you got all these other thoughts in your head about balance and who you're playing with and blah blah blah. Oh, and that's another thing, who you're playing with. No one can ruin your bloody game of aim training because someone stole his character. You know what I mean? Fuck me. Oh, and one last thing before I wrap things up is, because it's a motor skill, it works similar to other motor skills. So once you've learned to ride a bike, you can pretty much always ride a bike, yeah? Like, even if it's like 10 years later, you can still just jump on and you go for it. You can still ride. Obviously, you're not going to be like at that max skill, but you're going to maintain, I'd say, like, I'm pulling numbers out of my bum, but around 80-90%, depending on how long you leave it. It's something you don't really have to maintain. Once you learn it, you pretty much got it. All right, those are my thoughts. If the topic gets a bit controversial, I'll make another video. I'll answer some comments in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys later. Cheers for watching.